Okay, so this is going to be the video for the second assignment. What we're doing here, we're going to start by finding the intercepts. So here's how you do this. If you don't remember, to find the x-intercept, you put a 0 in for y. And to find the y-intercept, you put a 0 in for x. Okay? So, by that rationale, the directions on the first four problems say to name the x-intercept. So, if we're looking for the x-intercept, we're going to put a 0 in for y. So this is our y. So, in order to solve this, we have to get rid of this cube root. And to get rid of a cube root, you cube. So we cube both sides. Okay, so 0 cubed is 0. And the cube of a cube root goes away. And so now we just add 5 to both sides. And we get 5 equals x. So the x-intercept is at 5. Okay? Not too bad. So you're going to do these final 4 problems, or the other 4, the total 4 problems the same way. All right? So now let's move down to number 5. Number 5 says, now find the y-intercept. Well, if we're looking for the y-intercept, we're now going to put a 0 in for x. So we have y. Remember, this is just y. Okay? The cube root of 0 is just 0. So then y, what's 0 plus 3 is just 3. So then the y-intercept is 3. Okay? Not too bad. So you're going to do that for those remaining problems in that section. Okay, so in the bottom 4 problems, it wants us to find the inverse. So if you remember from previous chapters, we find the inverse by swapping y and x. Okay? So what we're going to do is, we're going to work number 15. F of x equals the cube root of x plus 6. And now it says to find the inverse of that problem. Well, remember, this is just y. And the rule is, if we're going to find the inverse, we swap y and x. So this y now becomes x, and this x becomes y. Okay, and now we have to solve for y. So find the inverse by swapping y and x, and then solve for y. Okay, so we're solving for y here. We got to get y by itself. So first thing we need to do is get rid of this cube root. So how do we get rid of the cube root? We cube both sides. Okay, so now we have x cubed, and the cube of the cube root goes away. Those cancel each other out. So we're left with y plus 6. Okay, and now we need to get y by itself, so we've got to get rid of this 6. So if it's plus 6, we just minus 6. So then we are left with x cubed minus 6 equals y. And that is our inverse. Okay? So you're going to solve the remaining problems in this section the exact same way. Okay, so these last 6 problems are just like the one in the front where we were finding the inverse, except now all you have to do is solve for y. So it set the inverse up for you, and all you have to do now is get the y by itself. So I'm going to work number 22. Okay, so first thing we need to do, we got to get rid of this 1. It's over there by itself. So let's go ahead and do that. So minus 1. We have x minus 1 equals 2 times the cube root of y. All right? So still, we got to get y by itself. And this 2 is hanging around. So we got to get rid of that 2. So it's 2 times the cube root of y. So to undo multiplication, we divide. Okay? And so 2 divided by 2 is just 1. Those go away. So we have x minus 1 divided by 2 equals the cube root of y. And now we have the cube root of y all by itself, and so we need to get rid of the cube root to get y all by itself. And in order to get rid of cube root, we cube everything. So then this becomes x minus 1 over 2 cubed equals y. And you're done. Okay? So you're going to solve all the rest of these the same way. This was the hardest one in this section. Okay? So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me and watch your Google Classroom, because I will be posting the tutorial times for this week as soon as I can. Hopefully by the time you watch this video, they're already up. All right.